I have Khilena Adhin with us today. Khilena, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the experience within acquisition process that you have?
Yes. Currently, I work for General Services Administration. I'm a procurement analyst, and that involves writing policies, editing policies. I lead various working groups for services and construction. One of the services would be like overtime utilities, standardizing contract templates, and core letters. I have been in acquisitions for about 8 years. My experience includes working with information technology, construction, and various supplies and services.
Okay, thank you. As a government acquisition professional, what have you procured during your career?
I've done major construction services to include demolition, building infrastructure, bridges, dams and towers for the Corps of Engineers, various supplies to include computer equipment and office furniture, other services such as janitorial, elevator maintenance, building maintenance, landscaping, and snow removal, etc.
Thank you. What would you consider the best methods for conducting market research?
One of the one of the most important things is understanding the product and the current market. I would also ask myself: is this product is it just for governmental purposes only, or can it be used as a commercial item? Depending on the product or services, I can either do a source as sought or request for information. Other things that I would actually do is call vendors to conduct interviews. I would review that acquisition procurement history, review various databases such as FPDS, FedBizOps, the GSA intranet, and commercial business nets. I would also do web searches, review trade journals. Now, for more complex acquisitions, I would do industry days or conferences to meet with potential vendors.
Thank you. What are some of the best examples and best practices you have seen concerning market research?
Some of the best practices that I've seen and also used, one of the best is holding industry conferences with the private sectors. That way, the vendors have an idea of upcoming requirements, and the government side establishes relationships with the businesses, both large and small. You also want to constantly be aware of the market trend, and you're constantly doing market research. We want to engage the private sector, and one of the most important things also is to begin the market research early in the acquisition process.
Thank you. Where do you see the government acquisition process within the next 5 or 10 years?
I see a lot of streamlining within the logistics of the acquisitions. This includes various policies, reviews, and various reports. I see the use of strategic sourcing, which is just aggregate approaches to similar buys. There's more oversight reports, or there will be more oversight reports for transparency, use of taxpayer dollars, labor cost, and administration. I also see, which is a downfall, budget constraints, funding for federal government. That'll definitely be a loss for us, or a decrease. I also see a decrease of the acquisition workforce, and we're having to do more with less.
Thank you. How do you involve or consider small businesses in your market research efforts?
To increase small business participation, I would contact the small business office. I would research SAM. We want to evaluate small business to determine capability. An example that I have, or that I've used before, is a major construction project. Small businesses may not be able to build a larger infrastructure or building of sorts. So what they can do is, having them get involved, is maybe do the demolition of something prior to the building of a building.
Thank you. How do you stay up to date in the market research environment?
I read consumer magazines, do continuous market research, reach out to industry and keep them engaged. This is holding your conferences during the year, your industry conferences. I look at websites and blogs, do networking, and talk to your customers and to get an understanding of how they're using their products.
Thank you.
I did a lot of ums and ahs and ums. Oh, you can edit that, I think.